The pastors of these mega churches, they have exploited the poor so much. All
Mm-hmm.
their wealth is in their
Mm.
own pockets.
Mm.
They live flamboyant life. They have private jets, whereas
Mm.
some members in their church cannot afford a meal.
Mm. So sad, my sister.
They have
Princess,
done. They have
do you know?
deceived us
Do you
so
know that
much.
church they are building right now in Songos right now?
That's why I'm saying this Muslim ticket that came in with all these mega church big pastors. What do they do? Nothing. With that
Mm.
Christian, Bola Tinubu still won, and then
My
that's why
sister, Bola Tinubu is not a Muslim. He just lied to them. He's a free
that
thinker. That is
that
why he's that successful.
okay.
He's a free thinker. He just
That's
lied.
why you know what
He's a
I
Nobody
wish
can be a religious person and be that successful. I'm saying it categorically here.
I
I'm
wish
telling you.
I wish they would enact a law that would tax all these mega churches, collect all this wealth, and
Hmm.
bring it out so they can maybe establish companies for people
That will
to
fund
work.
Nigeria's debt, though. That will fund the
Because
old
I'm
budget.
telling you,
You fund
okay,
Nigeria's
look
budget.
at when he said he wanted a church in every poll to the house. It's not because he wants the salvation of the people, low.
The man is a
It is
mathematician. Don't
it
forget,
is
he's a
about
mathematician.
how much money will become because
Mm.
if you have churches 10
Very
poll a
calculative.
poll, yeah,
Mm.
all the wealth
Mm.
in that area will be coming to him. He has started planning this long time ago. So to me, like you said, how can a human being he has turned himself to God? You sat down on a chair, people are going there to worship that chair. They are tapping anointing. What anointing are they tapping?
A chair
Then
made in China.
he
A
brought
chair made
comb.
in China.
They
Princess,
brought comb to the church. They
let's
said
ask
people
the
should.
while because that
They
happened
brought comb to the church.
in
They said they brought Ghana must go. They put combs. They brought it to the church and say people should be combing their hair. If you know you want to go to the American embassy for visa, use that comb your hair before you
The
go.
comb is from China. Don't forget.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the stupidity? How they have so made people to become so stupid that people can't think anymore. Okay, look at
Sorry, my
in that.
sister. I'm going to cut you short, please.
Look,
Sorry.
wait, just 1 second, 1 second. Look at
All
that
right.
place. That place that they call that they go for once a year, once a month, prayer in
Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost night. That land.
Mm.
If you buy land there, you are just look. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
It
I'm
is.
sorry
It is.
I had to come in because I
It
was
is a
sleeping
mess.
and I woke up and I was hearing people. I said, oh, I wish I just need to contribute a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's
You
all right.
shouldn't be
I said
sorry, my sister.
there
Please,
was a
let's please defend
there
your
was a
man.
guy in my area.
Defend your
Thank
man
you,
of God.
Jaiva, but you for having my back. I actually wanted to speak, but
Let's
I
hear
don't want
Hakim now.
to.
Let's hear Hakim
I
out
don't.
first before Diwali
I don't.
comes in.
Listen,
Let
I
Alpha,
don't
there was a
want
guy. There
to.
was a guy in my area, but Mr. Dewale, there was a guy in my area about 20 plus years ago. Back then, we was still back home. I went to a church in my area, and this pastor was preaching, and he said, "Okay, those people who want miracles, who want visas, they should bring their passport." So this guy went to the front of altar and left his passport there. Then the pastor pray, and then after this guy went to collect his passport, I'm telling you, that man never left Nigeria. He never left. He never left Nigeria. He's still in Nigeria. He's still in Nigeria till today. It's over 20 years ago. That's why all those people, when I start looking back at a lot of things that happens, I just say, you know what, this is nonsense, man. This doesn't make sense at all.
It is
It doesn't make
nonsense, Hakim. It is nonsense.
Guys, let me tell you this. I think I've exposed myself earlier on. My mom, she's a prophetess. Let me just tell you this. This is
Thomas,
the
can you hold on for a minute?
yeah,
Let me
yes, yeah,
make my
yeah. Go
point.
on, yeah, yeah.
'Cause I think I know the angle you're coming from. Madam Dupsy, I acknowledge and I appreciate your opinion. Your opinion is valid, but I'm not faulting you on for what you believe. Now, this is the area I want to establish. I was also born an Anglican. I'm sorry about the noise, my baby making a noise. I was born an Anglican. I grew up in Anglican all my life. And I moved to the big city and I became a member of Redeemed Christian Church of God. but I was this child that was exposed to, not traditional belief, but born in Nikiti, raised in Nikiti. What do you expect? Of course, I'm exposed to our culture and all that. Now, that helped me to balance my religion understanding. When I joined Redeemed Christian Church of God, I could remember very well. There was a time when, if you have ever been to any Pentecostal, you would do the baptism and all that. And for the first time in my life, something happened. I couldn't explain it. But when I watched the video back, I was told that, I'm sorry, the noise. I was told that I fell under the anointing. I just couldn't remember what happens thereafter. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Agatha must continue. I think she wants my attention.
Yes, you can come back and give us that. Let me tell you personal experience, guys. Today is Sunday. I think this is our own sermon for Sunday. My mom she's a prophetess. I believe in her calling. One day she called me, Coyote, come. I'm looking for. I hope everybody is hearing me.
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
yeah. He said, Coyote, come. I'm looking for that sister passport. I said, passport. She said, yes. She said the sister brought the passport so that she can pray for the passport. She told her that she doesn't need to pray for the passport, that God has already given her the visa. But Nigeria now, we want, just mommy, take the passport, pray on it. My mom said she collected the passport. I said, where do you put the passport? She said, I don't know. She said, Coyote, you see, I don't know. We went inside, we searched all our room. Finally, after 3 hours, we find the passport. She gave the passport to the lady. The following week, the lady called my mom that, Mom, they've granted me visa to the US, which she celebrated, blah, 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 blah. My mom called me. She said, Coyote, do you know that passport that lady gave me? I didn't even pray on it at all.
So you see the way it works now?
I don't even say a word of prayer on it. As the girl gave me the passport, I just hid it so that I will not misplace it. That is why we were looking for it that day.
That kind of a person can turn your mom into a mini god.
Yes, she told me, she said, that is why we are not God. What God will do, God will do it. It's not the prayer of the pastor. He said, if that lady stay in the corner of her room, pray, that is her time. They will give her the visa.
You see?
So that we are nothing. God is just using us. God, we are nothing. We are
you should
not
be very careful.
So I've learned a lot from my mom. He said, forget about all this fake prophecy going on. That sometimes God don't even speak. God don't speak sometimes.
God is not talkative.
God don't speak always. Any pastor you go to that told you, God tell me this, God tell me this, sometimes God will silence. God will not talk.
Do you know what, Baba T? I want to ask you this question because I will always tell this to my husband. My husband believes in dreams a lot. So do you know what? Because I research a lot. So I've discovered one thing about dreams. It's very funny. So if you take stimulants, you guys can just try it. Stimulants. I'm not. If I say stimulants, I'm not talking about Igbo. Don't go and take Igbo. But you can take sugar too. Sugar has the same effect like Igbo on your brain. So if you take chocolate, like a bar of chocolate before bed, and you were able to sleep, go into a deep sleep, the kind of dream you're going to have is going to be a play, like a 3D vision. Just, Baba T, you can just try what I'm saying out here. It's going to be like a 3D vision if you take like a stimulant before bed, because it's going to stimulate that side of your brain that is going to give you a particular thing that you're going to see in 3D. So I started thinking to myself, some of these prophets, do they take Igbo before they sleep? Because sometimes when they talk convincingly that God said, this is what I saw. They are not lying. They actually saw that thing. So some of them might have psychosis. Some might be taking stimulant. Some might be lying. Don't get me wrong. But somebody like Adeboye that said, I took tea with God. That was actually a convincing statement. So he actually did that. So I would say like somebody like Baba, maybe he have psychosis.
So
I don't know.
you said that okay, that tea that he drank, was it like it was live or was it in his
Yes, because he said his wife set table for both of them, for both God and him.
yeah.
And it actually poured the tea inside the cup, and they saw the way the cup was drained.
And he saw God. I thought the God.
No, he didn't see God, but actually that thing was taken by a particular spirit. So you see that's a convincing statement, Baba T. So that person saw that. That is his hallucination.
How old
so that
is he
person
now?
saw it. He's
How
81.
He's 81.
He's
How old
81.
is the man now? He's over 70, right?
81. He's 81.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah. So it's not dementia because he said this like 15 years ago. It's been a while.
Wait, are you a member of Redeem? It seems like you know so much about it.
Yeah, because I actually have to research before I pull myself out of all those things.
Oh.
You just don't pull yourself out of something when you don't have a very extensive knowledge about the thing. You'll be doing yourself a disservice when you say, I'm not going to follow this thing anymore, yet you don't know much about it. You have to research and know a lot about this thing. And that is why I said it's through knowledge that you can know God. Because you have to go through science, you have to go through technology, you have to go through science and all these things to be able comprehensively know the way things work in this life, so that you'll be able to know when somebody's talking from what point of from what point is that person talking from. So if you don't expand your knowledge, actually, you'll still be in that bondage. Don't forget, we're all traumatized by this religious thing. We are all traumatized. That is why I'm preaching now. Don't take your child to any religious home. It is hard to get out of that bondage. It is hard.
Doopsy, let me shock you. This is a personal experience again.
Yeah.
3 years ago, Baba came to Melbourne in Australia. I hate what they call it, this prostitute moving from one church to another. But I was
Is that your dad you're talking about? Is that your dad that you're calling or what?
Sorry?
No, you say Baba came to Australia.
No, Baba Deboye. I'm talking about Baba Deboye of Redeem.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was once a Redeemer in Nigeria before I left, because my mom's church wasn't in Lagos, so I attended Redeem in Lagos. So when we moved to Australia, I decided not to go to Redeem because I have my own reservation about that side. So, but my wife, Baba is coming. I said, I don't want to go. He said, no, just let's go. I don't want to go. I said, let's go. Yeah, we went. They finished the service. I've been hearing this. I haven't witnessed it. So I witnessed it in the first time in Australia. The seats Baba and Mama sat on. After the service, let's go home. People were queuing. Professors, doctors, nurses. We can tell you categorically, most of everyone here in Australia, we came on like a professional visa. It's not that we know, you know what I mean. Doctors, people that I know, nurses, doctors, queuing. I said, what is going on here? They said they are waiting for Baba and Mama to stand up and sit on the chair. I said, wow. I said, I've been hearing this. Is that true? They said, yes. Lo and behold, I said, I'm going to wait. Let me see what is going to happen. And lo and behold, Mama, the two Baba and Mama to the backstage, and people were queuing, sitting on the chair, rolling on the chair. I was just, what is going on here, guys? I said, yes, that is their custom. I said, really? This is a mini God? You've got to turn this guy to mini God? No. Even God doesn't want to share his glory to it. Baba is just, is just a human like you. You don't do that. I was, Nigerians kill like a mumu, sitting on the chair, praying, putting their kids on the chair, bringing pictures, putting on the chair. I said, I was flabbergasted. I've been hearing it. It hasn't happened in my own naked eyes. That day I was, I was crazy with my. I feel like going there and start slapping all of them. I said, "What are you taking God for?"
Thomas, if you don't mind, let me just reply. Dupsy, he asked a question.
Yes, you can reply, Babati.
Dupsy, so something we call religion for the mentally affects one part of the brain, which we call the frontal cortex. So that is why when they say those things, they find it very believable. So that's been proven by science. The more fundamentally inclined you are in that space, the more believable it comes across to people. So that part of your brain is because it will increase that curiosity and open-mindedness. So when you say it sounds like you actually saw it. So prefrontal cortex is what increases just fundamentally affects.
But I'm not sure, Babati, does the frontal lobe, is it active during sleep? That's what I'm not sure of.
No.
You know, they said there's a part of the brain that it's depressed during sleep. One is active during sleep. So I'm not sure if the frontal lobe is actually active while sleeping. So that's why I'm very confused.
The prefrontal cortex is actually impaired. It's an impairment of the brain, actually. The more fundamentally you become in that religious space, the more it damages that part of your brain. And over time, I won't call it an hallucination necessarily. It just increases your curiosity in that environment, because dreams itself is a manifestation of what is dormant in you. You know, our brain captures everything, right? What in your subconscious is more explored, the more damaged your frontal complex becomes. The cortex, I mean, not the
but see, what I'm saying now, you see, because the way I was describing marijuana the last time, that when a child started taking marijuana from like 14, before they are 21, when the frontal lobe is not fully developed, it's now damaged the frontal lobe. So you're saying now that religion can actually damage the frontal lobe? Is that what you're saying? That religion can damage the frontal lobe too, just the way a stimulant can damage the frontal lobe. You understand what I mean by that? So is it that religion too can do the same?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
From the context of that cortex part, the cortex, that part of it can be impaired if you become too fundamental, because you're not so that is like a dimensional context where you start to believe what you're seeing as opposed to analyzing it. So you lack that objective sense of reasoning.
Exactly.
Over time.
Okay.
You start to believe your own delusion over time.
So what I'm saying now, is it the same effect with marijuana?
I mean, man can take in the trance, like it can transcend where you.
No, I'm not saying the when it affects. I mean when it damages. You know, what they said a child shouldn't take marijuana.
No.
Yes, because the frontal cortex is not fully developed before. Is it 24 or 22? I don't know the exact age. So that's why they don't encourage youngsters to take marijuana. You understand what I mean? Because of the frontal cortex. So that it won't be damaged. So that's why I'm relating it to religion. Is it like the same effect? I mean, the way marijuana can damage that frontal cortex, can religion damage the frontal cortex that way? That's my question. Yeah.
I think religion. I won't say religion, because when you mention religion, I think it has to do with the doctrine that you adopt. But faith is personal. Some people believe in some other things that we don't. Just like when you go to China, you see them, with their Buddhist statues and all that. They believe in those things. Some don't even believe in any of those things. But what I realize is that faith is personal. Some people have a awakening period in their maybe in the midlife or the beginning of their life or towards the twilight of their life. Um, the heart of man is hollow. There's a quest for, or seeking for knowledge, understanding on how things work, and delving into the spirituality side of man. And that is why human being will always try to, seeking for the higher authority. And we can't blame human for, constantly yearning for that part of their life that is incomplete. So whether you're Christian, you're Muslim, or you don't believe in anything, it's still about faith. I've realized in this stage of my life that God exists. I'm a Christian, but not like the way you see the other Christian. That thing you just mentioned now, Babati, about sitting on Adeboye's chair and all that. I've questioned that in my heart before,
That
and there's
happened
some
in
doctrine that
like
I
that.
don't.
Like
There's some doctrine.
that
Yeah,
happened in KDO. That happened in KD very
I know.
close.
I've seen that multiple times. Either at the camp or here in the camp. And there was a day we were in the church. My pastor used to invite Bishop Okonkwo, and Okonkwo had this white man partner here in America. They usually come together to our church, and then Bishop Okonkwo now came up and was asking for sowing seed. I don't believe in all those things. Immediately, I took my Bible and I walked out of the church. You know, but when you start beginning to have understanding, uh, you realize there are some things that you don't get yourself in. What do we go to church for? You go to church to understand that, you know, basically don't do things that is going to be, because most of the things that are termed to be a sin, I actually think that you don't, the society frown upon, right? So more or less like, okay, being a good citizen of the world, let me put it that way. And the other side, I also realized that there's no perfect religion. There's no the quest for spirituality for of man is take different dimension. I told you about when I was younger how we are being introduced to cultural beliefs and all that. Then I begin to realize now when I'm praying, especially uh, my family during their birthday. I pray for them, even speaking in my own dialect. That tells you how I'm beginning to, tapping into my, to my roots. So now I was giving an example earlier, and I was saying that this aid represents the presence of God in my life. When you pray, you can pray for yourself. Yoruba call it a leader because your aid represents God, be it man or woman. And I also believe that God made us equally, but at the same time, some are gifted. And I give you an example. We were talking about dreams. We're talking about how you imagine something and it will comes to pass. And I also concord that it has happened to me in the past to the point that I went to my mom to ask if I'm a witch. And my mom said, "You're not a witch, but just don't tell nobody what you just said." I haven't experienced it in my adulthood, but when I was younger, yes. But what I realized is that ewe wa, ogunde wa, ogbamenu gongo, and it defies some of these oguns manifestation defies science, defies logic, and I've seen it, I've experienced it before. So I believe that the mind always constantly looking for something that is more higher than that. If you look around, what is the more superior to us in this ecosystem that we find ourselves? Is we the human, right? And who does the man look up to? The animals look up to us and see that we are more, higher in terms of reasoning, in terms of powers and energies and all that. Make things happen. Animal can't. So and I realized that things that I used to believe in before no longer sit well with me. And I pick and choose because that is the power that I have as human being to pick and choose. Yes, I'm still a Christian. But the thing is, even being a Christian, there's some things you say that I will look at you that you don't know what you're talking about. Because I have the ability to be able to choose and pick. And I disagree with Madame Stupsy when he said you don't have to, take your children to church. Look, this is what I'll say. One time, my wife was doing a program in school, and there was a particular course that she has to do. I think it has to do with religion. And she came home. She was trying to, educate me on some of those religions that they were at to research and, you know, learn about them. And we were talking about over 200 religions. I was like, wait a minute. Where are these? In your mind, you will think it's only Christian, Muslims, and of course, the generally known religion. But then she came up with almost over 200 lists of religion. And I was like, okay, where do you categorize this? Because they also believe, they hold on to their faith because they believe in something. We also have the Church of Satanism and all that. So faith is personal. People believe in so many things. And then when they believe in those things, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work wonder for them, but it gives them peace of mind, knowing that you know what, I think there's something higher than me, spiritually higher than me that can help. Now, when people become enslaved to what they believe is when it becomes more dangerous. That thing you mentioned about Ajiboye standing up and people rush to where he's at. Look, you may see that as being, idiotic, but some people do not see it that way. Even to you and I, it seems that, it's just unheard of. But somebody who's been looking for a child for 20 years, 30 years, and they're asking this person, look, even without being told, sometimes they do this, let's quote unquote stupid thing. They do it without even realizing it. But until you are in that position, because we're talking about faith, that is their faith. If it works for them, good. If it doesn't, but I believe in balancing
Hello,
having
Adewale.
understanding,
You see, that's why I don't
balancing the
understand
view.
Christianity. When you
Yeah.
say when something works for you, fine. When it doesn't work for you, fine. What's all that for?
Okay. When
Thomas
I
just
say
gave us
that,
an
when
example.
I'm Lucy, when I'm
Let me just
Lucy,
say this. Let me just say this, Dewale. Thomas just gave us an example. Thomas' mom was a prophetess, and a woman brought. I'm not sure if you listened to that story. That
I
woman
did.
brought, a passport to her, but the woman didn't even send the passport. She
Mhm.
looked for the passport all through before she handed over the passport back to the person, and she was
Mhm.
given the visa.
Okay.
So
You have an understanding that is
yeah,
higher. You
yeah,
have understanding that is higher. What about
yeah.
somebody who doesn't have the same understanding
That's why
that
we
you
have
have?
to seek knowledge. That's why the brain is there, bro.
Not
You have to use the
everybody,
brain.
not
You have to
everybody
use
have
it.
that.
And I think that's the way we're going to be judged anyway. You have to use
Well,
the brain.
that's a different bookie. But
Dupsy,
you
You have to
can't
use,
compare
you have to use the
yourself, your
guys,
brain.
understanding, to somebody
Yeah.
who
You
has not
just
even
got
been.
to use the brain.
What
Please,
if
let's
that
start teaching
person?
that to our children.
What
You
if that
just have
person?
to use you can't be mentally lazy. It's not
What if
possible.
what
You
if
can't be
other person
mentally
you're talking
lazy.
about? All those people that you see in the Redeem, all those people you see in the Cherubim and Seraphim and the rest of them.
Yeah.
What if those people are not as, they don't have the exposure that you have?
You just
Or
have
in their
to.
life, they've never been introduced to any
You
other
just have
belief
to
other
seek the
than that.
knowledge. That's the only way. You have to seek that because the brain is placed there
I,
for
I
a
believe
reason.
that when you get exposed to so many doctrines, so many
Yeah.
beliefs, you'll be
Yeah.
able to have better understanding, and you'll be able to be at peace with what you believe. Look, um, I've seen manifestation of away and O
And
that
but when you're not
defy
scam, she know
that.
it. Scam,
No,
she
no, no,
know.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
still
I
not believe no, it's still
no,
scam too.
no,
they were
no,
they were like
no.
just Dupsy. See, we can say some things on online.
Actually,
There,
this away
there are
at
things
Igbo.
there are things you
Actually,
Yeah.
this
cannot
away
say
at Igbo.
online. But if you
Sometimes
but if
it
you grow up in
does.
that environment, Diwali knows. I get what Diwali is saying.
you
Okay,
It's
know,
still a scam. It's
please,
still a
please,
scam
if I
too.
may come
It's
in
still
a
a
little
scam.
bit, please, if I may come in a little bit, I heard somebody saying about a way I take that it works. And Doopsy, you are saying that's a scam. Not all the time it's a scam. Oh. Okay, look at the instance of this Magu that is killing some people. Is that not a way I take that they use and it's making
They've got medical condition, my sister. That's why
for
they were
Magu?
killed
For
during sex. Yes,
Magu,
now.
I know.
Some people,
What
let me
medical
tell you,
condition will
sis,
make a
don't
man
let
and a
them
woman
scam you. You have to
stick
seek
together?
knowledge, yo. Mama, why I'm
No,
you have
that
to seek
one up
knowledge.
to now,
It's not,
science can prove
it's
it.
not Magu. Some people have a heart condition. Listen to me. Babati is the doctor, is listening. Some people have heart condition. Some people are not supposed to take sex enhancement. You know, all these,
Okay,
what
what
do they
of the
call it?
ones that they say they stick
Oh,
together? Is that
okay.
Just
heart
listen.
condition too?
Look, honey, they're not so because they've got heart condition, they've got blood pressure.
No, no,
You're
no.
not supposed to take.
There
Just
is some.
listen, sis. Just listen.
Okay,
You're not supposed to take something that will make your heart raise faster
faster
than
than.
normal.
Yeah.
Because during sex, you know the way the heart races. So
Yes.
Tachycardia.
when you take
Tachycardia.
something, somebody is listening to me. So if I'm wrong, he's gonna correct me. We have a doctor in the house. So when you take a stimulant that enhances the way your power goes beyond what your heart can run, then you can actually have heart arrest. Just
Okay.
listen,
Why?
sis.
Why
Because
doesn't
if
it?
you delude let me tell you, you have to have an open mind. If you delude your brain with all this nonsense, you will never know God. That is the scam right there. If you start deluding your brain with things like this, that is not even, is not existing. That is not going to kill this person. One thing you should know that you should always be objective when you hear a story. Just research into that story very well. Look at it objectively. Look
Madam
at it
Duke,
critically. That is where you get the proper story.
Madam
Scam,
Duke.
I'm telling you the fact tonight.
Okay, Madam Duce, I have
I'm
two
listening.
examples I want to give, and I want you to explain the logic behind it, if
Okay,
it
I'm
is
listening.
fake or not fake. You know
Okay.
that a way that they used to pack my mind, that away. You know the leaves that they used to, cook my mind.
I know what, yeah, I know the
So,
one, yeah.
do you believe that those leaves, if put together in layers and layers, and you try to pull it, it won't pull?
Oh, now, they are thick
Okay.
leaves though, yeah. Let me know
So,
what
do you
you're
think they
talking
can
about.
be stuck together without being able to separate them?
Definitely, they do stick together, yeah, they
How?
do.
The leaves that they used to
Yeah,
prepare my
yeah.
mind.
Because if you see them, they have like one gummy effect on them. If you look at the leaves very well,
Gum.
because I saw them, yeah, no, like
Okay.
a gummy. I'm not sure what's,
Let me
what they're
narrate.
being made.
Let
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me
Just
narrate the
let me
let
know
me
the
narrate
story.
the
Yeah.
scenario. So one day, I went to my cousin's house. So when I got there, there was a commotion. My cousin was accused of stealing money, in the house, and then he said he was innocent. And then somebody said, no, we have to take him to somewhere. This is just one example, but I give you the second one. Now, on getting to the place that they took them, this guy brought the leaves out. We inspected the leaves. So, I'm sorry, look at this baby. I'm sorry. So we inspected the leaves. We inspected the leaves. I'm so sorry. She's the boss. No, 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 no.
I don't want you to back him now. You
It's,
can back him.
I'm sorry. I will come back. You can continue.
Okay. So, but you said it's called tachycardia. Okay, thanks for that. You're
We
the
are
doctor here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in this instant, why is it that it doesn't happen with the husband and wife? It's only when the woman goes out on a particular day after the man has done something that this happened. So is that a coincidence
So
too?
you don't know the way Agbere works or the way Shina works. So because a man wants to have an affair with a married woman, you don't know the excitement that you want to lay
Oh, is
down
that
with
what
another.
happened?
You have to be careful, because you have to just you have to take things easy to be able to understand this life. If you're not coming from that point of view, you won't even know God.
Okay, I'm back
Because
now. Can I continue?
okay, please
So we
do.
inspected those leaves, and those leaves were dry, no gummy, nothing, no water on them. And then those accused now hold to the hand of the stick of that leaf, hold on to the head of it. and they put them layers upon layers, and this guy chant this incantation and asked them to pull it. Now, if you are guilty of it, you will pull. But if you are not guilty, the list will stay. I did it. He didn't pull. But when my cousin did it, he was able to pull it. That's how they established that he was part of the he stole the money. Only to find out that the person that stole the money gave him part of the money. He didn't actually steal the money, but because he benefited from it, that was how he was able to be identified. Now, the second one, I went to a canteen. You know how
Adewale,
they
let me
oh,
respond to this first
let
so
me
that
say
you.
it real quick
No,
before
wait.
my
Let me respond to this so that we can take it one after the other, so that we won't
okay,
confuse things.
okay.
So that's why I said it's good to broaden your knowledge about science and human, what's it called? Human physiology. What's it called in university? The way
Okay.
your body works here. So you said the guy shared out of the stolen money. Please remember anxiety always. You just talked about the story now. You were relaxed while pulling the leaves, remember? The person that shared out of the stolen money wasn't relaxed. And Babati will be able to explain
But
this better.
I pulled my leaf and it didn't pull out.
It didn't pull because you were relaxed pulling it. Remember, you were not guilty.
Yeah,
So the
but
person that, wait, the person that is guilty, his
yeah.
anxiety level will be up. Remember that.
How?
The
How? Someone is holding on to the other hand. I'm holding on to the other hand.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was unable to pull mine.
Because you were relaxed, you were not part of the
Okay.
thing that happened. So the person that stole the money or that shared out of the stolen money will have his anxiety level at the top. That is what I'm telling you now. So that person will pull that lead more than normal. If you're listening very well, I want you to have a critical mind to what I'm telling you now. Because that's the only way you can navigate this life if you don't have a critical mind. So that person already is shaking that God, don't let them find me out. So when they say pull the thing, no, we'll pull the thing so that they will just say, oh, you're part of the people that stole the money. Because he has his anxiety level up already. We are part of our body. That's the way the body works. And that's the way what people will say they have lie detector.
So
What do you think they're looking at inside the
what
lie
I'm trying
detector?
to establish, you said that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it, so I was calm. That was the
You
reason why I
were
was unable to.
calmer. Your anxiety level was normal. You were not shaky.
But
You were relaxed.
if I get this straight,
Yeah.
these leaves were put together by
Yeah.
ourselves and the
Yeah.
other person holding on the other hand,
Yeah.
and we were pulling it,
Yeah.
and those leaves did not come out. But my
Yeah.
cousin was able to pull his own. That was
Exactly. Because it was
so.
shaky.
How does
Okay.
anxiety
Everybody,
have
let
to
me ask
do
you a
with?
question. Let me ask you a question. So
Yeah,
how do the these Western people, how do they detect liars when they say they're using the lie detector? How do you
yeah, but
think they detect that? How do you,
okay.
what's the science
Because
behind that?
when you lie, your heart rate goes off. Didn't it?
Thank you, bro. Thank
Babati,
you.
Babati,
Thank you, bro.
Babati.
Thank
What I'm
you.
still trying to deduce from what she said. You know when you have leaves, you know the leaves now. Babati, you know the leaves, right?
Right.
The one that they use to make my mind. You have the stem that you have that you can hold on to, right? So we were told to pull those leaves together, layers upon layer. I think like 10 of them. So each person will hold on to their hand of the stem, and the guy would chant this incantation
Please,
and will
please, I
pull.
have a question. Was he aware that the stolen money was what was given to him? Because
No,
he
Yes,
wasn't
no,
aware.
it
it
was.
wasn't.
It
It
was
Oh,
wasn't.
he
aware. He
didn't
did
know
say the
the
truth.
money
He
he
was
benefited
aware.
from was
He
for
was
Yeah,
him. He
it
aware.
didn't know.
wasn't. The
He was.
person, yeah, it
He
wasn't.
would not
That
tell
was
you
the
the
reason
truth,
why
Adewale.
he
He would
agreed to
not
go
tell you
there.
the truth. He was
Okay,
But
because
aware. He
okay, he
was
didn't
aware.
know.
it,
Okay,
it,
He
okay.
was
no,
aware. I'm
Then
telling
that's
you
it
the
fine.
fact.
wasn't.
Oh,
Then
It
that's fine.
okay.
wasn't. It
Okay. That's
wasn't.
fine.
It
That's
wasn't.
fine.
It
That's
wasn't.
fine.
And that was the
That's
reason
fine.
why he agreed to go there. You
Yeah,
know,
Yeah.
because
the logic
if
behind that,
then
Yeah.
if he wasn't
behind,
aware that
Yeah.
the money he was given was stolen, his anxiety level shouldn't increase
He
then.
was aware. I'm telling you the fact. And
see,
without knowing that
see,
person, he was aware.
I'm trying to describe how that thing came to be. Those
Okay.
slaves were put together in layers. And then we put it together by ourselves because the leaves we inspected it dried, right? Nothing, no gum, no
That's the way
magnet,
those
nothing.
leaves are. They were because I store them in my freezer too because I use
Okay.
them a lot.
Let me go
That's
to
the
the
way they are.
second experience. Let me go to the
Okay.
second experience.
Okay.
So I went to a canteen in Lagos. That was a very long time ago, around 92 or so. Then I wanted to go and eat at this. It was a Igbo canteen where they have the yellow gari and all that. So I requested to eat the eba.
Hello,
As soon,
Adewale. I
yes,
hope everybody is enjoying the conversation.
of course,
I am
of course.
enjoying it, but if you want us to change it, that's
No,
fine.
no, no. I just
Continue.
want let me
Yeah.
let me give this second example. Then we can change it after that. I just want somebody to explain because I believe that we are able. They are real. Now, as soon as I entered that canteen, I was about to sit down. I'd already ordered by the entrance, about to sit down. I saw this man shouting. I said, "Ah, they don't take him." So in my mind, I was like, "What is he talking about?" He said, "They don't take him." So eventually, he said, "They've taken his penis." I was like, "Wait a minute! I've never heard that before." So, and I don't want to get involved. And I didn't tell nobody at home that I'm going to canteen. So I told the woman, put it in the plastic bag for me. Let me get out of this place. So as soon as he was, putting the food in the plastic bag, this guy was just won't have it. He stood on the table and said, "No, they've taken it." So before you know it, they were closing the shop. They were closing the door, and I panicked. I was like, "Wait a minute! I didn't get involved in all the. Why are they closing the door?" So they insisted nobody leaves. That was because I didn't tell nobody at home that I was going out. I actually sneaked out. So I didn't want nobody to know that I'm going out to eat. I wanted that food badly. So to cut the long story short, we were told, so immediately they should close the door. They said they should turn off the light. That was where I panicked the more because I've never seen anybody being, like that, saying that they've taken his penis. Now we didn't know how the size of his penis before. How would we know that they've taken it? Before you know it, they said, "No, we have to go somewhere, this and that." They said, "No, nobody lives here until the Spanish comes back." I was like, "How do we know this? Yeah, it has come back." So, in that chaos, that woman handed the airbag to me. I wasn't even thinking about the airbag. I held on to it because I wanted it so bad. Now, while that was going on, they switch off the light. Some people said, "No, turn that light back on. We will die here today if that light doesn't come on." To cut the long story short, the guy said, "Turn on the light." They turned the light on. The guy pulled down his pants. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, it was real. It was as if nothing was there. So while that was going on, they said, "Turn off the light." And then they said, "Look, wherever I take you should put it back there." Lo and behold, after that, this guy charged us and said, "Look, I've touched somebody." Then the person that he touched happens to be a woman. And he said, "Okay, put it back." Eventually, the woman denied it, but I said, "Turn the light back off, put that thing back." Barely after 10 minutes after that, the guy shouted again. I said, "It has come back." And he put the pants down again. The original size came back. I saw it with my two eyes.
Wow. Wow.
Hold on,
Wow.
Oga Thomas. Hold on, Oga Thomas. It didn't end there. So your thing has come back. Please let me get out of this place and go home. I have my by my left hand. Let me just get out of this place. They said, "No, he's going to try if it works." That was where it becomes comical to me because he said he doesn't know if it works. Okay, what do we do? They said everybody we have to follow him to Alashewo's place. I said, "No, I'm not going there. I don't go to Alashewo's. How would I?" They said no, or they will call police. And I said, if I go to police station from here, nobody in my household knows that I come to eat there by here. We went though. We went. So the woman that owns the canteen gave him the money for Alashewo. So how do you explain the logic of that woman was handed over to the police though because they almost lynched her. They almost put tire on her neck. So how do you explain the logic behind those crazy drama that just happened in there?
So because the way you narrated this is like going to Professor Feller's house for all this the more you see the less you I mean the more you look the less you see
Abracadabra.
abracadabra. You see, because you see this set of scammers, they are organized crimes. So probably, I'm a very deep thinker, Dewale. If you just know that, if you know that, you know peace. Because there's no way on earth that you bring all those things to me. I will debunk, because that's my mindset. I will debunk it. I don't believe in a way and ego. I believe in a way and ego. Listen to me. I believe in a way and ego for medicinal purpose. Don't get me wrong. For medicinal purpose. But when you're talking about a way and ego that you can use it to manipulate a fellow human being, forget it. Because God did not release that power. Listen to me, Babati. Just 1 minute. God did not release that power to both human, Satan, and angels. He did not release the power so that we won't be manipulated, so that there won't be chaos on this earth. That is why he did not release any power. 0.001 power is not in anybody's capacity. That is why he decided to hold on to all the power that belongs to him. That is why anybody cannot share out of that glory. So those people are said of scammers, organized crime. The man must have taped his dick behind him and released it from the land beyond beyond. Have you watched that film movie when you were young? From the land beyond beyond, the more you look, the less you see. So they're going to organize that crime to scam you, Adewale, if you're not careful. So that they will tell you it happened in front of you. The penis disappeared and reappeared immediately. So this Baba can do it. I want to be a landicap.
Let me reply. Let me reply Dupsy real quick, Dewale, please. So because I cannot share some things online, of course, but let me just give you one I can share. This is very common in America back in the day that they used to do back in the days. So that's the reason why our area, you don't have security. There's no security. It's just Igbale that they use.
Yeah.
Dewale, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Once they hang the Igbale, well, if you show up to rob that place in the morning, you'll be sweeping the floor naked.
You will Igbale.
That happens with my dad's neighbor's farm. Go ahead, Baba T.
So that one, once you show up in the morning, if you rob that place, by the morning, all your gang, you'll be naked sweeping the floor. The police. So we've seen these things work. So when you say that is not, there's some things that I can let me go there because there are things that I'm telling you.
Just the way they would tell me to
my sister, be open. I would say be open-minded. Be open-minded.
They will tell me to donate $100. Sow a seed and you receive $1,000. It's still the same scam. It's still the same scam.
You know, Baba T.
So how do you explain the people that came to rob at night and then they become sleepers?
It's a lie. It's still
a lie. Everybody.
So that one too is
I don't understand that English, but see, full of
that thing I
even know. I don't know how to say it in English, my sister.
Do you even know what? I even know how to behind that thing. They use spider cutwood.
But see, you're a doctor for crying out loud. Stop talking like this. You're a doctor, bro. What's all that for?
Why
are you talking like this? I believe in for medicinal purpose. They were an ego, of course. I do believe in that book a lot.
Dupsy, Babati is the traditionalist, so Babalawo.
Yeah, Babati, why is he using his profession to cash out in Yankee? Babati, leave that story there. So somebody is making a lot of money in America.
Babati, let me give you another.
The guy is cashing out to Yankee said he believes in the way. Don't mind him.
Babati, you see, Madam Dukes here, I will encourage her to be open-minded. You know, it's not good to think that some things doesn't work. Just have that open mind.
Though. That's why I'm talking like
I've seen the one I just narrated as just a child play. And then hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. In 1992, the king in my town died. Actually, died 1990. No, I take that back. 1991. No, 1990. And then they had the new king in 1991. You know, Yoruba used to sit on whatever Eruaba. You know, in the first time in the history, in fact, some of my siblings that were born in the 50s and 40s, that, that tells you how old they are. They didn't witness that because that king reigned for a very long time. Now, so when it was time, because we don't usually have Adele, we don't have Adele. Once the king died, we have another one in store straight away.
Please, what
So
era is that?
in Ekiti,
Okay, okay.
yeah. So you know, in Yoruba land, when they say Alara Ajero or Ogunleila, yeah, those are the three siblings, and these people they don't have Adele, they don't have regent. So then it was time to do the coronation and install the new Oba. For the first time in history, I saw something that even saying it right now said shiver down my spine. You know, there was this element. I won't call it human being. I won't call that thing human being. If you look at the most tiniest object around you where you are, his leg is as tiny as a broom. This thing walks kilometer upon kilometer before he arrives in our town. You know the akpere, the basket, not in a circle one, but in a rectangular form. So they formed it around him. So they will be singing, and they came like almost 3 towns before it gets to our town. Yeah, and you know, this element do not walk through the door. It walks through they will have to break the wall to come in. I saw the leg. You know when you have uh, like an animal's children, you know, the one that is not yet born, but you can see this, their skeleton form kind of. That was the one that installed the king. You know, what I'm doing, be open minded. I will go further than that. When that thing walked in, even the older people in my town that you would thought, okay,
Are you
these
from
people are,
Ijero? Are you from Ijero?
yes.
Okay, that's where my mom is from. Ofoni Mogwe Bade.
Oh,
Sure.
okay. So I'm glad you are you are the daughter of the soil. You know what I'm talking about. You see, this thing for the first time, it was it was uh it was an experience that nobody will, you will keep, you know, replaying it in your mind. Even older generation had never witnessed it before. In that kind of situation, at the point, you know, when you say people are saying ayajo to each other, like, you know, they will say things like more or less like a curse, but you will reply them back and all that. Even the king himself was shaking, despite that his father was a babalawo. So be open minded. I believe those things are real.
Dewale. Let me just reply to Thomas. Do you remember the time you asked a question about why is Rose Vivo always wearing white? Remember you asked that question. Why is he always wearing
Yeah,
white?
yeah, yeah,
I do,
yeah.
I do want to tell you why. In
Ogboni. Is it Ogboni?
no, Thomas, that is the same reason why Osibajo wears black all the time.
Why does he wear black?
Let me
Why?
tell you why now. Let me tell you why.
Is he not supposed to be a pastor?
No, let me
Why
tell
does-
you why now. Forget the password one. It's just hard.
Okay.
Some people like me now, for instance, now you see the same way Rose Vivo dresses white. I don't wear black. If I
I don't wear it either.
so those are things that they do back in the days. Like I don't eat some food. I don't go some certain places. I don't drink for a reason. It's
It's
all
still a scam. Oh. It's still a scam. Oh. All these things are persistent.
I'm telling you, if I need how much that phone, that's the reason you see me wearing white all the time. It's not because you
Is that
just
why this guy, the guy that owns Christ Embassy, is
yeah.
always in white?
Once you see somebody always wearing the same color, like that is
Yes.
that means that they've done you.
What of Oyedepo? He wears
That's
white as well.
that's what
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying.
I mean,
So
Oyedepo.
if you see people,
I'll
they're
be right
always
back.
there,
I'll be
same
right back then.
all the time. That is why. But by the way, have you seen his new church that is building right now? It's called the Ark. It's a hunter
Which one of them?
in Songota.
Oyedepo.
Okay.
He's
It's still a scam. They are still scamming them.
building a brand new church for. It's
No. They said the Babati.
Yeah.
He said why he wore white is because white
It's
is the
cheaper.
cheapest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cheaper
and,
to
and
maintain white.
it's the cheaper to maintain white.
This guy that is a billionaire.
Thomas,
That is say we be Momo.
Thomas, this is what I'm telling you. I know what I'm saying.
But there are some secret cults that there are some secret cults that they wear white.
What secret cult? You should
is
ask
a
yourself,
scam.
what secret cult? What did they do there? What secret cult? That's what you should ask yourself deeply. Now, what is secret cult? It's still a scam. You see why God will release power. Let me say this. Let me say that. I will let you talk. Why God will release power to human? You see, when God created human being, He said, "Why is human being's mind desperately wicked? There will be chaos on this earth if God release 0.0001 of His power to human. We will use it to harm each other. And if you have that behind your mind, if you have that at the top of your head, you will never believe in any of those things."
Dupsy, please give me 5 seconds. Dami, your audio is not connected. If you can go out and come back in so I can bring you into the conversation.
Hello, Dupsy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not connected. Okay, thank you, Thomas.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
Dami. I'm talking of Dami. Is another person that wants to come in. We can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue.
Okay. So that is why, so that there won't be chaos. Thomas, I'm sure if Thomas has a little power, as nice as Thomas is, it will tell one man sometimes to, it will use his hand to raise one man up as one man is on the show. You understand? Human being can be very funny. It will just use his hand from Australia to raise one man up from the show and just drop one man again. If one man says something that he's not pleased with, if you have this kind of thought, that is why God will not release. Listen to me. He will not release 0.00001.
Can we clarify? Can I
human,
please?
not even the devil.
Sorry, can I engage you, Dupsy, please? Dupsy, can you tell us what is your own understanding of creation? Do you subscribe to the
No, to the science, but to the science. I subscribe to not the Bible. The Bible is manipulated. I don't understand it. Yeah,
you have the big. So wait. You have the Big Bang theory, right? That's what you subscribe to.
No, not the Big Bang. No, not the Big Bang. Just the way the way science talked about matter.
No.
The open. Yeah, that's the way I can see.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying creation of humans. Are you of the Big Bang or are you of the Bible, the biblical principle?
I'm not of. I don't subscribe to both. I don't subscribe to both. Yeah.
Okay, because
but I can see God more from the science view.
Because
religious,
that way, because there are enough evidence out there. If you study pre-Bible, pre-text.
Yes, I don't. That Bible or most of the things in the Bible, I don't go with most of the things in the Bible because it has been manipulated. So I don't. I don't really subscribe to the Bible.
Our own chromosomes, you can see that there was some kind of manipulation to it. Where, to me, the Garden of Eden is more like a lab, like a human experiment.
Okay.
So if you look at this reason why they say they chased them out of the garden, it was like because they were exposed. There was no snake. The snake, because if you are into, don't let me go there at that, but if you study that history properly, the reason why they chased them out of Garden of Eden was because they said because their eyes was open. No, it's because the co-founder of that place, if you are subscribed to what you call the Anomra or what you call ISIS, them. So they were going to corrupt the other gullible people that they were experimenting on. That's the reason they chased them out of the garden.
I don't even believe anything about the Garden of Eden at all. I don't even subscribe to it.
It wasn't a garden. It was a human experimental lab.
It's possible. That's possible because I believe more about the science.
Dupsy.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Green. Green, are you there?
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, Dupsy.
Your voice is too. Are you in the bedroom?
Yes, I'm in my bedroom.
But
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, not loud. If you can speak louder, please.
It's like I'm shouting here, bro.
Really?
Yes, yes.
But we can barely hear you.
They can walk pada then.
Yes.
No, I can hear him. Let him
We
continue
can hear
now.
you. We can hear you. Let's go on. Go on. Yeah.
See, I guess you are from Ondo State, right?
Yes, I am. Your voice is low, bro. Your voice is low. Yeah.
We can't hear you. I'm very sorry. It's green.
Can you go out and come back in? Maybe come
Yeah,
back.
maybe go out and come back. Yeah.
But
Please,
But see, okay,
Dupsy,
okay.
please, I have
My
a
sister.
question.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
there's somebody in the platform that said he goes to Redeem, the Restoration Chapel here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
that's Dewale. Dewale is the one.
That's
Okay,
Diwali now.
I have a question because something happened. That Redeem, and there have been so many scamming going on. The pastor, he has been married he's dead now. He was married to the wife for many years. They couldn't have kids. So
Mm,
they went ahead and they did something like they must have used a surrogate mom
mm.
to have the kids. So on the day of the dedication, the wife said she was going to come out and talk about everything that happened, but she refused. Instead of her to come out open to tell the other members of the church that were barren so that they could look for alternative measures, she didn't say anything. Another thing that happened again, this pastor eventually became sick. He had cancer. Do you know they hid it from the members of the church? They didn't tell anybody. I mean,
Yeah, they're
see,
not supposed to be sick if you
they
understand
are not
them very
supposed to be
well.
sick because
No, they're
they are
not.
super
Yeah,
they are
they
super
serve
human beings.
God,
They are
all the
divine.
Almighty. Yeah,
So
they serve deceit.
he
Deceit.
was
They serve
sick,
deceit.
had
So they're not
cancer.
supposed to be sick.
He was sick, had cancer. He was in the hospital. Then it was one of the members that's a nurse that saw him one day when she was the one that brought out the secret. And that was how it started going out. So to me, why are you deceiving people? You are sick, you refuse to tell the members of the church. You didn't want them to know. Your wife
So,
she had
Rosie, do you see what I'm saying? That you shouldn't
But
take a
that's why
child to that kind of a place.
that's
It's
for
full
me.
of deceit.
but
It
guys,
can confuse a child.
I
It can
have
damage a child's
So
brain.
that's
I
why
have
for me,
guys, wait.
yeah.
Let me just before I forget my train of thought, because I have something similar at my practice where I lost a patient of mine because of what Rosie just said, where somebody has a high blood pressure and a blood sugar of over 700, and they refuse treatment because they said that the man of God was praying for them in Nigeria somewhere that God will heal them. I'm being serious right now. I said,
Oh my
I
God.
said that God will heal me. I'm like, you are dying. You don't make it to within. This person had over 700 hyperglycemia, 700. I'm like, how are you still alive? So it came to the clinic. I wrote him everything. I called the hospital myself that somebody is coming over because normally in the clinic you can only regulate below 300. If you're above 300, they have to go to the hospital and stabilize that before you can put them on any insulin at all. So I wrote everything. I called in, report everything. It's like, don't worry, don't call ambulance. I will dive them myself. I called in 2 weeks later to check in. He said he didn't go. I said, why didn't you go? This person died within a month because he said God was going to, because they said they're believing in the word of God, that God was going to heal them according to their pastor. They died.
And all these pastors, when they come abroad, they come for medical checkup. They do all the things
I'm
they're
saying,
supposed to
like,
do.
God,
But they go back to
who
Nigeria
made
and
the
start
doctor,
selling
who
olive
made the
oil
medicine? Is it
and
not God?
handkerchief.
Is it not God that made
Look,
the medicine?
when they are moving around, they move around with bodyguards, but they sell stickers to their to the brethren to protect them. But they don't believe in those stickers to protect them. They use bodyguards, but other people will use stickers.
Rosie, a family member died 2 days ago.
It's so sad.
He
It's
get
just
burned. He get burned in the kitchen, almost
ah
50-degree burnt.
oh
He
Jesus.
didn't. He didn't tell anybody. A family friend, rather, a distant family friend. He did. He was. He was. He said, by this tribe I am healed. Ororo tí Oyedepo gbé fún wọn, ó fi ń para.
You're not
He
supposed to get
died
burnt if you're
3 days
serving God.
ago.
Oh my
Thomas,
God.
He
You're not
died.
supposed to. That means you're not serving God. If that can happen to
That's
you,
why the
that means
Bible
you're not
says
serving the
my
living
people
God.
die due to lack of wisdom.
Exactly.
Come on.
See, you're
You
getting the
get
gist now. You're getting the
50%
gist.
born, and you were
Yeah.
putting Goya oil,
My
anointing
people
oil.
perish for
I
lack
have
of
a
knowledge.
question for Dupsy, please.
Okay.
Ah,
You
yes,
can
yeah, go
go
on.
ahead.
I'm back now, Dupsy.
Yeah.
You are from Ondo State, right?
Yes,
I'm
please.
also
Yeah.
from Ondo State.
Yeah.
So you say you don't believe in juju, but do
I
you
don't.
believe in there's something they call all this itagba or something like that?
Describe it. Give me a tag by any.
Or
Kí ni?
you believe pé tó máa yìnbọn fún yàn bọ́n lè wọlé ṣá?
Kí ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀? Àwọn ọmọ Yankee ò tí ì yín AK-47 ni. Ó máa pierce
No,
skin
no,
straight.
no.
Ayédáàbí.
Wọn ò tí ì yín AK-47 ni. Táwọn ọmọ Yankee bá gba ẹmú tó bá fi AK-47, ó máa pierce sínú skin yẹn, á wọlé straight
ṣebí
direct.
tó bá rí ìbọn yẹn yìnyín tí tómi bá jáde ní ẹ̀
Sure.
kọ́.
Don't try it, though, my brother.
No, I'm just asking you.
I still want you around.
Let me just tell you something. I'm from Ondo State.
Mm-hmm.
I'm partly Ilaje, partly Ikale, and partly Ijebu.
Okay.
You understand? So maybe Babati was talking about somebody's dick was disappear, right? Okay.
That was Diwali.
Okay, Diwali. Let me just.
Hello, excuse me, sir. Can I interject a bit? That woman is not listening. Just say,
Only wait.
That
Don't
is
mind
why
your business. Nobody's
that
talking
is
to
why.
you. Mind your
Hold
business.
on. That's why our people are suffering now in the diaspora.
Let me tell you.
Very respect your husband. Yes.
Tony, wait now.
Okay. Maybe now they believe in our African tradition. Forget about Jesus Christ. It will lead you now to
Tony,
hell.
Listen.
You go talking now. Hold on.
Thomas, please mute Tony so that we can enjoy this conversation.
I just want to expose myself a little bit. You understand? This when I was in Lagos during December period, I went to Ikorodu. I was hustling with Molwe, and I realized that I couldn't find my junior. You understand? And I was like, what is happening? You understand? I was very, I was panicked. So I called my mom. They took me home. My junior was very, very, it's like it shrink. You understand? And I was the only child for my mom. So my mom was very panicked. And my father's side, the mom's side, they are fully abolist. They are fully abolist. So
Sorry, your junior. Oh, your junior. Oh, you mean your third leg? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, junior. You understand?
Sorry. I didn't know what was in my junior. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So they called my uncle. You understand? From my father's side, the mom's side, Ikale. So that man is an herbalist. So their family, they are 90% of them they are into herbalists. You understand? Babalawo, let me just put it that way. So immediately they called the man. They brought the man to our house in Ikorodu. And the man was like, okay, take this thing and drink it. And, he just brought out the thing. I gave me and I drank it within 20 minutes. You understand? I started feeling, difference in my body. And after I realized that my junior is back, you understand? So they now say that, how am I going to know that this junior is working? And I was like, okay. They now suggested that, we should go to Ashawo's place. I was like, Ashawo's place? My mom said, no, my son cannot go to Ashawo's place. Call your girlfriend. And that time, my girlfriend got on again. So, and they took me to Ashawo's place, and my friends, my uncle, not my other uncle, they paid. And I tested it, and I told them I'm fine now. So for Dupsy to be saying that you don't believe in that, no, that is far from.
But so Green, the way you have narrated the story, you don't believe that you have a kind of medical condition? Have you gone to test yourself?
No.
Okay.
I'm very complete. My body is
no diabetes, nothing, no blood pressure, nothing.
No,
Are you sure? Because a lot of us don't test ourselves.
How can that make your dick disappear? How can diabetes make your dick disappear.
Of course,
this
it's not
was when this
disappearing.
was
It didn't
years.
disappear, Baba T.
This was
It didn't.
years
It went
ago
limp.
now.
It went
It
limp.
didn't.
It didn't
It
disappear.
didn't say it
It didn't
happened
disappear.
recently. This
It didn't
happened
disappear.
years ago.
Green,
So it must have
did
been
it
longer and
disappear?
healthier.
Let's get it straight. Did it disappear or it went
ó
limp
sá
on
wọlé ní
you?
erin kankan mọ́ o.
Yes, Baba T, can you hear that? It didn't disappear.
Ó sá wọlé
So,
ní erin kankan mọ́
Osa
orí ẹ̀sìn kan ni
Wayemi,
mo rí ìta.
Wait.
exactly.
Green. Tekpon abi. Ekpon náà sáwọlé àbí. Ekpon ńkọ́.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ ló sá wọlé aláwọ̀.
That one is not diabetes. That one is a
No,
lie.
Baba T, you know that we
What is
exaggerate. We exaggerate some conditions. So if you look at it from the medical side,
ẹni tó bá ti ẹni tó bá kí n bóbìnrin ṣe nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀ is a different thing. Are you getting my point?
then we were not even asking him what he was going through at that particular time. Maybe he was depressed or something. So we should take his history first.
Okay, so
See,
if it was
we
depressed
should
within
take
20 minutes,
Yes.
everything came back to normal.
What you've not experienced before, you don't have an idea how it is.
It's not an idea. I'm telling you that this thing doesn't
I
work.
think you should still have an open mind and do more
I don't have
research.
any open mind to it,
No,
because I've done research and I know that this thing
Not
doesn't
into
work.
African methodology. African, no.
Everything.
No, you can't
It
know. You
doesn't
can't know. You
work.
can't know everything.
But
You can't know
sis, are you
everything.
listening to me? If you want to believe in it, continue.
I'm not
not
believing
saying-
in it. I'm just saying to have an open mind.
My
Do
own.
some
I'm
research.
not having an open mind. I'm sorry.
Come and join us on.
Ewe Anepo. But what I'm saying is that Ewe Anepo, medicinal purpose, I'm 100% for it. I go 100% for it.
So
But when you're talking about this, my brother that that's from Ondo State, from Ilaje now. Did anybody touch him for his finish to go limp? What happened to him? So there's something that happened at that particular point. It's not as if Ogun you come by for Ogun now. Oh, buy your jar now. Oh no, Moso, you weren't fighting with anybody. Oh no, Moso, you weren't fighting with anybody. You were not at loggerheads with anybody. Come on, so when you go for Ogun lo, eh? I mean, is that not what you're insinuating here? When you go for Ogun no, eh? Can you hear what Lord work?
You know, December time, you have all these kind of nasty things happening in Lagos.
That's what I don't subscribe to all those things, my
Please,
brother. I
please,
don't.
can I say something, please? My mom, she's from Republic of Benin. In their place, they have one thing they call, it's like a masquerade. This thing is very huge. It spins. It keeps spinning. But when you open it, you don't see anything under it.
Are you talking about Isangbeto?
Yeah, Zangbeto. Yeah, Zangbeto. So there is some powers that makes it spin. But when you don't see somebody wears this mask. I mean, you don't, like Egun now. And when you're Egun, but this one is just the Zangbeto. You don't see anything that is spinning it. Some people from US have gone there. They have gone to find out exactly what's inside that makes it spin. They can't explain it. They can't. So how do you explain that? Is that coming to?
You see, upon all these magical powers that we have, all these African powers, just see the way our country has nosedived into the ground. A man, an individual, why do you seek spiritual power? I want to ask you guys. If you want to go to a Babalawo to join Ogoni, or you want to be like Babati, to make Babala dollars in America.
No, you are right, madam.
Why do you?
Hold on, please. You are right.
So,
Black
all
people
these
are not
things that
using
we
it
have.
for positive.
Wait, Tony, let me flash out this. Upon all these things that we have, Tony, we are still the way the country is. Because
because we lack love. Correct. Because we lack love for each other. Hold on. Please. Yeah, we lack love for each other. Hold on. We lack love for each other, so we don't use it for the betterment of the people. We use it to terrorize each other. But the white people also, they have witches and wizards. But that is how they are able to manufacture all these Mercedes, Siemens, and Bosch. But in the case of black people, we lack love for each other. That is why you can see these legislators right now. They call themselves president, senators, whatever. They just take the money.
So, Tony, me and you can have discussion for 10 hours because I like people to reason like you.
Yeah,
Again,
so
we can have discussion for 10 hours. I like people to reason like you.
Yeah, so what I'll be accusing the black people in the diaspora of is that they enjoy being in abroad, going back home to use poor people's children to be molding blocks and building homes, and then fencing the home, see their homes around, like they live in the prison, and then that is why the African people were just going deep into the ground, and then we can never.
So Dipsy, you believe that there is African power, but they don't use it the right way.
Yes, sir. Exactly. They don't use it. They don't use
No,
it.
I don't believe. You see, I have a friend.
Dipsy believe in Ogunrifi for something like that, but she doesn't believe in the other one.
I believe in Agbo. I believe in Sarada, and I believe in Agbo.
My people, please. Every one of us that are, all of us here, when you were born, hold on, when you were born, your mother, your mother take you to somewhere. Hold on. They tear your skin and put some concussions. That is what is protecting us today. But
at the end of the day, I beg you, Tony, let me talk, please. So what I'm saying that one of my friends there, she's a realtor, she's a witch. So what they do is that they go like for meetings to help the society. She belongs to a member of the witchcraft here. So they help the poor.
White or black? White or black?
She's a white lady.
She's a Caucasian.
Correct.
Pure white.
Correct.
So I asked her, what do you do there? Sometimes when she comes to me to decorate my house for me, because she's an interior decorator too. So she brings some stuffs like all these Medusa heads and all. So when people see this kinds of decoration in my house, they say, this thing is evil. I say, what's evil in it? There's nothing evil in it. I have a friend that's a witch. My Nigerian friends, they freak out when they hear that. They just freak out. How can you be saying that? But she's the nicest person ever. She's so good. I love her. There's nothing wrong with her because she loves with her bones.
Don't let her charm you. Don't let her charm you.
They are born with talent. They are born with talent.
Exactly, my brother.
They are born with talent. But hello. That talent needs to be tapped. That talent needs to be tapped by the Africans.
You start going to the meetings with her.
I can't because they do a lot of good stuff. I can't start going to the meeting with them. They do a lot of good stuff around the society.
But in Africa, you kill them. In Africa, you kill them. You kill them in Africa.
Nobody can kill anybody. Still alive.
Yeah, you need to take them. No, you need to take them. You need to take them and settle them in a place. And then work with the universities. Hold on, and work with the university researchers. That's the way.
Lọ́kọ̀ máa pe Buhari pa ni. Àwọn bàbá tí ò ṣe pé Buhari pa. Ṣùgbọ́n ló gbọ́ pípa ní yàrá wọn. Bọ́dún dẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n ṣe pé Buhari pa.
Kí ni mo ṣe fún kí ìbàdàn náà? Tó bá lọ
sí Akwa Ibom. Get it by all of them there.
Tony, hold on. Dupsy, when I was on Rudolph this morning, there was one lady there, I will not mention name. You people know she's been cursing all this election. I said, if cuss work, Babangida is supposed not to be alive today.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Obasanjo supposed not to be. Obasanjo won't go see Obasanjo. They carry their coffin. Babangida curse. Everybody curse. I said, it's curse work.
The pressure.
Be alive.
No, Thomas, you know why I subscribe more to science? Because I love evidence. I'm a woman that loves evidence. So that is why I love science. But this African power,
Sakama J. Let me say something. Everybody wait. I want to throw something.
It's very good for us.
Tony, calm down. But Tupsi, if there is magic, if there is power, what make Sunday Igboho to run away from Nigeria? Why can't he face Nigerian government with his charm?
Oh, brother, mi wà pẹ́ láyé
I better not say that one.
wà
Not say
jẹ́
that
wọn
one.
mọ́
They diluted
wà
it.
pẹ́
They
láyé
diluted it.
Thomas,
wà
Thomas,
jẹ́ wọn
Thomas,
mọ́.
Thomas,
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 I am so
Thomas,
Thomas,
Thomas, I am so disappointed in you.
Thomas. You know the reason
Thomas.
why
Don't mind now.
Igbo hold left.
Thomas is Thomas
Igbo,
is disappointed in you. That
Thomas,
question.
I don't believe all those. If
know
Thomas,
Adewale,
can you
wait,
hear me?
Adewale, listen to me. If there is this Ogun Toto, why can't he wait, stay in Nigeria and face Nigerian government with this charm that he claimed that he has?
The government is coming with equal
Thomas,
power
they
people.
have their own charm too.
Thomas,
Thomas, Adewale, please let me say this. You know, when you go to a doctor, people like Baba T, you go to them, you complain that you have a headache. They will say, okay, can you just use this Tylenol 3 times a day? Then you come back to tell me if you're still feeling good or not. That's evidence based. So you go back to your GP. You say, GP, I've been feeling better. I've been feeling good. And if you're not feeling better,
They will increase the dose or give you another prescription.
they might just even refer you to the
Thomas.
hospital to go and do head scan so that they will be able to scan your head to be able to see exactly what's wrong with that headache. You know, that's evidence based, my brother. So when people come here to brag, and Buhari will be messing up like that, you can tell him that Buhari.
Thomas,
Let's hear from Adewale. Let's hear from Adewale.
You know,
Adewale, yeah.
in Yoruba land, there's something called Afojudi. Anybody knows the English name of Afojudi?
If you undermine something, undermine something.
So when you undermine, so even when you have the Owe and Ogun, it's still not absolute. There's a limit to everything.
So that means not genuine. That means not genuine.
Hold on. See, when you have the fact that he's able to live unscattered and people were killed in his house, that doesn't mean that those things, those power that he has,
Adewale is not in that house that day.
Hold on. See,
he's not in that. If he's in that house, they will catch him. They said, "Don't know of he disappeared." Who told you that he disappeared?
My brother, Adewale, please, can I interject? You know, because Thomas not
Tony,
here.
wait, Tony, Tony, please wait. Let him finish.
I don't even know if
I
you
know
guys can
Tony
hear
will
me.
disrupt this session.
You know,
I don't want to bring him in.
Let people
Thomas, speak. Then
you
come in later.
Sometimes, you see, I said something earlier. I said, look, it's good to balance your view. It's good to, you learn from this. I don't want you to discard that this thing does not exist. It does exist. Now, in Yoruba land, where you have some, power like this, you don't do Afojudi. You know why? Because you may underestimate the person that you're confronting. The person that is coming to meet you, you may think is not a stone. You call yourself a stone. That person might even be more than stone. It might be a volcano coming your way. And that is why you don't do Afojudi. Afira, you have to find alternative and leave. So
that is Moja Mosabi.
I don't do Afojudi. I respect people based on your intelligence and your knowledge. That's the way I don't do Afojudi. But don't come to me with Ogun. Don't come to me with Ogun. Come to me with knowledge.
But still have an open mind and do more research.
No, with when
we assume that this thing does not exist, these are the things our forefathers, our ancestors are being using.
No, Adewale, before you continue, I'm not in Dupes issue. I believe it exists. I believe it exists.
So
but I don't believe they can work on me. They can work on people that believe in
faith.
Because I don't believe in it.
Thomas, that's your faith.
So if you have
that's your faith. And some people that believe in it. Some people believe in it, but they never use it because they don't want it, they don't need it. But to assume that they don't even exist, that it doesn't work, like Madame Dupe's sister, that is where I'm trying to appeal to her to have open mind. That this thing is not magic.
It does work.
Even the Bible says, "Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar." Sometimes you just have to, you open mind to some things, but you don't necessarily have to base your faith on it. Igbo who left. because you know all those people you mentioned, the likes of Babangidas and the rest of them, they also they patronize all these folks. They do, they do. And
But
if
but
you there was
Dipsy
a
does she Dipsy don't even believe in some parts in the Bible now, because the Bible says we
well,
wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers. About so I don't know
The
if you even believe in
principalities
you
and
that
know
one.
power
there
in
was
high
this
So
man,
there are
places.
powers, there are principalities.
Olusegun Adeniyi or Ruben Abasi that wrote about the demons in Asura. There's a spirit in Asura that once you go in there, those spirits will always make
Adewale, the
people.
spirit in Naturos is called indiscipline. The spirit in Naturos, indiscipline.
Okay, I
Dupsy,
agree with you.
I love you, sister. I love you.
Thomas,
Dopsy,
You
Thomas,
I,
can I come
Stand
Dopsy,
on
in?
what you
Dopsy,
you
believe.
Dopsy,
I
you want me
love
Thomas,
you,
to sing?
sister. I
Dopsy,
love you.
please, can I come in? Dopsy, you want me to
Yes.
sing one song, that fella song? He said,
Okay, please,
"Itako
I'm listening.
Yibo, Pastor Englishman. Itako." Your
Me, I
believer is
don't
even
even
more than
understand
the
English like
white
that,
people
though.
now.
Me,
Your
I'm a
belief.
young black girl to the core. I don't understand English that much. I
you
No,
know
struggle
there
with
when
was
I'm
English.
this
I
man
say
singing,
called
what?
but
Pa
I'm thinking
Abraham
about your
Adesanya.
thinking. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
your critical thinking. You are thinking like more of a white person now, because that's why fella was thinking that Itoko Yubo, pass the Englishman. Itoko you.
you know, Madame Dopsy, there was a man called Pa Abraham
My
Adesanya,
sister is so
right?
funny.
So during the Nadeko era, so he was being interviewed and they asked him that what do you relied upon that you are so bold you decided not to leave, you stay. You know what he replied? You know what he said? He said,
What do you say?
"Mo lowo, mo de logun." So
I
there's
have
nothing they
money and
can do.
I have
And
charms.
yes, and there's nothing Abacha and the lights can do to him. And truth is what they couldn't do anything to him. He stayed.
Oh,
So
but
What killed Babadi Labu? Babadi Jibu, what
let
killed
me
him?
give
Do you know
you
what killed
it, it,
Babadi Jibu?
the
Do you
so
know what killed him?
give-
Babadi Jibu, the politician, the big politician in Ibadan.
Ah, Baba,
Do
Baba,
you,
Baba mi niye, Baba
do,
wa
do,
Nbàdàn nìyẹn.
do you know what killed him, Adewale? Do you know what killed the man?
I
What?
I don't.
Diabetes. Bó
That's
ṣe
a
lóògùn tó
natural
yẹn.
cause.
Exactly. Diabetes. Bó ṣe lóògùn tó.
but there are
Diabetes ló
there
pa.
are herbs for that can help your pancreas. I mean, it's amazing that on Clubhouse every week on Clubhouse I join herbalists and doctors across the world, Nigerians, and the kind of tech they have in that field is amazing. Nerve regeneration, even audio.
Babalawo,
Telling you,
Babati,
yeah.
are you sure you are not, you under, mo ń fura sí Babati o.
No.
Babati.
I'm a gentleman. No,
But it's good to have that, a different view, and it makes you appreciate, life more.
they
Like I
were
said earlier,
we do IFA concretely now in the hospital now. Do you know that? The same
of
way you do.
course, as a matter of
They
fact, I
told me
got
now.
exposed to IFA
So
divination way longer. I wasn't interested in it because I realized that I was young, and for me to learn this now, I don't just want to have, when you have too much of things that, after some time your brain will tell you, no, I think you are going the wrong direction. I got introduced to it by two friend. His father was Babalao, pure Babalao. And I will be listening to them chanting those SFR, they'll start one by one and all that. And it's so funny that this thing it's more like a science, but at the
Well,
same time,
let me reach out to you. So because you have there's an Oluwo in Houston, you can follow up with. You can have your own app now.
no, I'm not interested anymore.
Okay.
I'm not-
Yeah, you can follow up with them and
I have peace of mind now.
okay.
Babati,
Yes, sir.
everybody, please hold on. Yeah. We have Dami in the house. I think he wants to say something. Dami, do we have Dami?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yes. We can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. What?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We are talking politics, but sometimes the this channel just take is organic. Now we've moved to divinity. So what brought you here today?
Yeah, I've been following everything actually, and I'm interested in the topic we have. Right, I mean, we're discussing right now. I just want to give my what I believe or take on this topic concerning
Oh yes, yeah. Go on.
religion.
Yeah, go on without interruption. Yeah, we're listening.
So, I personally, I don't believe in all these juju, jazz, and any these religious things. Personally, because I'm someone that believe, I mean, that I'm very interested in. I read up on history, philosophy, and religion. And one thing I can tell you is that Europeans, I mean, the whites, they were once, I mean, they also share the same belief that we have right now. I mean, if you go back to like 200 years ago, if you check their history, they were strong believers of all these juju religious things also as well. So all these things that we are passing through, they've also passed through it before they moved to science. So because even if you check European history, for example, you will discover that people were stoned to death. I mean, witches, cats were accused wrongly, even animals were taken to court. Well, I don't know if you know about there's a this popular animal, Mary the elephant, was accused of witchcraft, and they took the elephant to court just because he killed she killed a rider. Okay? So, but those are just ignorance. Then, I mean, I'm sure when they look back and try to check all those things, they probably, I mean, they're probably gonna feel embarrassed about all these things. So here is my take on juju. Just like science, everything has not been proven. That's why we keep doing research. Even in science, we keep doing research. There's a lot of things that we cannot prove now, but we are moving there. I believe juju has a little science in it. There are tricks and there are science and there are herbs. So I believe the science is secret. I mean, juju has always been like something secret. You always keep it as a secret from um, everyone. Like there's only a particular kind of people, only particular kind of people that can practice it, that know the secret and stuff like that. I believe there are little signs we might not be able to prove some things right now. Okay, there might be like a little trick, just like we have local herbs that might be able to cure some diseases that probably medical field cannot have not found a medicine to cure. So there might be little personally, from my own personal opinion or from my own perspective, I believe most of these um, jars are scam and fake. But there might be some things that we might not prove, but can be proven by science. We might not be able to prove it now, but we might be able to prove it in time. So, from my understanding of this, there might be little, but it's not supernatural to me. And I can give an example. For example, I was reading up on how to make this charm, this ring called I've forgotten what they call it, agbawo, Yoruba like Oruka agbawo. And when I was reading up on it, I found out that when you're making this ring, you have to get an electric fish. You have to put the ring
I
inside the electric.
sorry. Is sorry. Do you have any babalawo in your family?
Well, I have. I believe everybody have maybe distant families that practice Babalawo, but I do have people that are close to me. I mean, close to my family that and they practice Babalawo. So, while I was reading, I mean, while I was trying to understand how this ring is being made, I discovered that it requires like an electric fish. You have to soak it, and at the end of the day, you will still come back to science like electric conductor, because as that's an the ring. We're talking about iron ring, and we're talking about electricity. I mean, we're talking about an electric fish. So after soaking it and some other things added to it, you know, and then you use it on people and the person might fall down or might feel shocked, something like that. So at the end of the day, it's still linked to science. Those things are things, I mean, it's possible. No, I mean, if you're looking at it from a human view, something like that is going to surprise you. Like, wow, how can you just touch someone and someone is going to fall? But there's actually a scientific explanation to it. So that's how I see some of the local jobs that we do. Some of the charms that we practice. Some of them are scam. Some of them have little science to it. Some of them have we haven't proved some of them. And same way, we've not been able to prove everything with science. But everything can be. I don't believe in any supernatural power or even when we talk about even Professor Pell, we've been so brainwashed about his magic that is so powerful and stuff like that. But this man went to India to study magic and harp.
Thank you.
You know?
Danny,
And there are
is that Danny? Who's speaking? Who is this person
this is
talking? Danny.
Danny.
Yeah. Thank you. Because you started, the way you started. I know that immediately that you know exactly what you're talking about. Because if you don't go through that means researching the Western world to see what they went through before going into each and every one of this research, you will miss it. So you started from a great point. You have researched the Western world, especially England, what they went through when people were going through dementia. They started killing them, they were witches. So that's why I know exactly that we're coming from the same place. So I knew that you're going to just go straight to the point.
I have a question
So
for
if you
you.
don't research, so if you don't research from that point to what they went through in the Western world, the way they had big cathedrals. If you see those cathedrals, they're quite expensive. The way these mad people are building all those churches around Nigeria, that's the way they built all these cathedrals around England. They wasted a lot of money. Empty cathedrals now that nobody goes inside any longer because they moved away from that religion. They had to go to science to be able to develop their country because there's no way you stay with religion that you'll be developed. There's no way, I'm saying it, that you stay with religion and you will be underdeveloped.
Can I come in now? Can I interject? Thomas.
Oh yes, yeah, Tony. Let's hear for Tony. Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So
You're
maybe
welcome.
I will be going from left to right now or whatever. Look, first of all, it is a total lie that science came before that. So the supernatural power, whatever we call it, our natural power, that was where the scientists derived their knowledge from. Okay, somebody made mention of a European something. It was those people, those witches and wizards at the beginning. They were killing them some 500 years ago. But right from 200 years ago, they started to tap their brains. That's how the science came about. So what we have to do is that okay, you know what? I'll just ask you a simple question now. If any of if any of you here, we try this what we call magu, don't climb in our own language. I think you know. So hold on, or maybe in Odo and Edo, because we have similar culture that you plant some mangoes and then you tie some red cloth around it.
Sorry, and I'm telling you, people will climb other people's wives successfully.
Then they will die.
Men have climbed other people's wives successfully with that muzzle in their body.
But that woman is just too. That woman, you don't lost for Europe, or America where you did. So our culture is our culture. Please, at the Beguna, if Africa no sink further, let us embrace our culture. Let us use it.
Wait. I have a question for Dami real quick.
Bami sort okay.
Yeah, let's Adewale, everybody hold on.
Adewale, my brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are you throwing the question to?
No, to Dami is also attached to what Ogatoni is talking about. So that's why I want him to answer this question real quick.
Okay.
I want him to answer
go on, Adewale.
He said that he doesn't believe in it, which is good. I mean, that's what he believes anyway. However, I want him to explain the logic behind this one. Somebody who have a mindset to go to your compound to steal, because of the juju that you have in the compound, you got to your compound and started sweeping your compound. Can you explain the logic behind that trick?
Well,
Danny, please, before you answer the question, has Adewale seen that before, or that's been said through
I have seen it with my
witnessed that with your naked eyes.
Yes, I have seen that. Oopsie, I've
Okay.
seen that in the
Okay.
in the farm, our
Okay.
neighbors farm. People came
Okay.
there, two guys.
Let me answer your question then.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't believe in that. And
You don't believe in
even
that?
if I have, even if I have to believe in that, you have to be open-minded. That things like this can be, organized just for, probably just for to brainwash people. I don't
But they
personally
were
believe that
stupid.
there's something. I don't believe if that is possible. Then why is Nigeria the way it is?
What about
So
Magu? Magu. If you are not
I
Yoruba,
want to
if
use
you are not Yoruba, Magu is when somebody
So
puts on
you
your
you
like,
okay?
Tony,
let me
you
wait,
answer
talk that
first,
way.
Tony,
brother.
Uh-huh.
Tony, we are
So
not talking of Mago.
Why
Yeah, Dami,
so
if
continue.
if
so
this
so, so
if this
damn it.
if we have
So
uh, all right, go ahead, sir.
so those two guys, because I witnessed it in our neighbor's farm. They came there in the early in the morning, and they were sweeping the entire farm till the owner arrives and decided to set them loose. So in that situation, would we say that they were psychologically deranged for them to? Because I don't imagine how two people will be, you know, their brain will be synchronized to the point that they'll be doing exactly the same task, sweeping the entire farm till the owner of that farm arrives in the morning to set them loose. So would you say that they were hypnotized or they were having mental issue, or what would you call it if you don't believe in it?
There are a lot of things to hit because there are some things
And Dami, let me add this before you answer
uh,
that question. You see, this town Dewale is talking
I
about
mean, I'm sorry, Jason, let me
is
just say this before.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how can you say you have this kind of magic? I mean, let me call it supernatural power, okay? And we have a lot of politicians running around and stealing our money. And how can kind of magic of this power? And a pastor that believes in the supernatural power is using bulletproof cars and can't even protect himself. So there are more to these things. It's probably to me, I haven't seen it, so I can't believe in it. And even if I see it, I will have to, be open-minded in it. Like, come on, this thing might be that we just sweep aside. We don't even investigate on things. Just like even when you go to church, you see a lot of
And Dami,
fire.
Let me add this. This particular town Dewale is talking about, that's the where my mom is from, Ijero Ekiti. I was still there last year summer for my mom's burial. It's so underdeveloped. It's so underdeveloped with these magical powers that they have. So underdeveloped. This is Ijero Ekiti. Because I don't understand why you have a
What was
magical
the point?
power. I won't be able to command my place to be like Dubai. I don't understand that.
How can you have
You
that
know,
power and be so
there's no,
underdeveloped? So
those
what?
powers are not absolute. I wanted to tell you that
I'm sorry.
where your power starts is where something ends, is where another person's power starts. So that
I
is
don't want
why
you talk like a Christian too much.
I
And
know,
you talk like a Christian too much.
there's
Too
some
much
things.
talk like a Christian.
That's why I said there's some things we don't understand right now that can be proven by science, and some things that. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you might see something that might happen, okay, but because I'm sorry to say, blacks, we easily believe things without asking questions. Like not making research. So we just think in a particular box. So we don't really ask question and how can this be possible? What made it possible? Can we don't ask question. We just believe in everything we see. Let me give you an example. In the olden days, I mean, like about 200 years ago in European states, they believe in, they've been through so many diseases, so many diseases, they've experienced so many bad diseases, that were pandemic. And they believe if they eat the bone, okay, of those that are dead and of people that died from the same disease. Like once they drink their blood or they eat their bones, say like little incantation to eat, and they're gonna get healed. That was what they practiced there. And funny enough, some of them this belief actually worked. And they just put some incantation and they were brainwashed and they believed that is what actually worked. But in reality, when you bring this now to the medical field, to today's modern medical knowledge, then you will understand that we are still practicing the same thing indirectly. It's just now we now understand why things like that work, because that is the same method we're using, like antibody or like vaccination. You know, like when you take vaccination from people that are dead, you try to study the disease. Sometimes you introduce a new disease to kill another disease. You know, like things like that. So indirectly, we still practicing that same method, but there are they were drinking the blood of people that are sick. That time they thought it's the magic, the incantation that they said to those things that made it work. You know, so that is what I'm talking about. Like some things can be proven, it can be investigated, we can make research on some things. Some things might work, but it didn't work because of the supernatural, belief or the incantations we put on it. Some things might actually science. I mean,
And Dami, don't forget. Dami, let me chip this in. Don't forget that we have been brainwashed. We are a traumatized set of people. We have been brainwashed from all these religious homes to believe all this thing out of fear. For the fact that I know this guy, that the farmer has a broom somewhere, and this thing has been said around town, that if you get to the farmer's land, there's a broom somewhere that you take to sweep the floor. Out of the fear, these thieves can go and take the broom. I am telling you, that is human brain conditioning. They have conditioned your brain that this Baba has juju. When you go to his house, you're going to use the broom to sweep the floor. I am telling you, the same way a pastor will lay a pregnant woman down and have fun with the pregnant woman. That's exactly the way you would take that broom and sweep that Baba's compound. Exactly. It's called control of human mind. It's
I rest
dangerous.
my case.
It's dangerous, my brother.
So I don't want you was trying to help me out. How can you raise some case like that? Thomas,
Like I said earlier, Oga Tony, I've
No,
implored,
Thomas. Give
I've
that
implored her to
give
have open mind,
give
but
the woman Magoon example, please. Thank you.
one thing is this. I love the fact that human being, we are the only
Rotimi, hold on there. Let the one
that
finish. I'll bring you in now. Yeah.
that can make choices and have different opinion and follow different paths, and that is what makes us really really super. So and that is the beauty of of it. But sometimes there's some things that you're trying to explain, but I myself I can't explain because I believe that some of those juju that defy uh logical explanation. But then, hey, if that's what others, see as being, you know, the psychological aspect of it, and I mean, I can't say no to their submission because it might be true. But the way I see it is that those things do exist, and then we can also say that they are not supreme because they have limitation. However, that doesn't mean that we should discountenance them and assume that they do not, exist. They do
Thank you.
exist.
She go for that.
And
Yeah.
and Diwali, most of
Yes.
them are even hidden from us. Because
what I'm saying.
they are lost because I remember my grandmother from the Remo side. They used to the kind of things that they used to discuss back in this. They were like, this is like deep as I'm discussing time travel. Oh. I know it sounds easy. I'm telling you, back in those days, they had a lot of things that they had, but it's lost in time. And if you look
Kanoko.
across across all cultures, if you look at, you will hear stories about all these things back in this. If you subscribe to your Atlantis or whatever you believe, even my time in Mexico was amazing. I was studying the Mayan history. They had all this tech back in the days that has been lost to time. So we can't deny that we have all these things.
Babati.
Do you know that the oldest computer in the world, its anti-cultural mechanism, was founded 200? I mean, that was even before Jesus. I mean, Jesus was born.
Dami, we are losing you. We can't hear you very well.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can pretend we are hearing you. It's not that clear.
Yeah. If maybe you can go out and come back in. Yeah, the link is on the. Yeah, we can barely hear you. Yeah.
Diwali,
Diwali, yeah.
do you know?
Yeah.
That is why Africa is going backward because of this abandonment of our of our culture. There's mass exodus.
Can I say
Some,
something too?
some are dying at the Mediterranean Sea, try to cross over to Europe because we discarded our culture and religion and everything. Let us go back there now before it's too late.
Tony,
When
why are
are
they
you
crossing? Why are
when
they
are you
crossing the
going?
Mediterranean Sea? Why?
Can
Why can't
I
they
say
use offer
something?
from their room?
Tony, when are you going
Why
to
can't they
Nigeria?
use offer from their room to
God,
Europe? Why are they crossing?
No,
Because
it's a
of
pity.
geometrical
It's a
powers.
pity.
Hold
It's a
on.
pity.
Hold on. That is true. If there
You
is
know,
Ogun, why can't you use
Thomas,
Egbe from
Thomas,
Nigeria
there was
and
this
find yourself
documentary.
in Germany?
Thomas, there was this
Yeah.
Fever documentary I watched on Netflix. Fever documentaries on Netflix. In that documentary, I found out that they also engage in this belief. In Europe, especially in England, when they're playing soccer, there's a particular people that will help them to pray that there will be no rain. As a matter of fact, they featured that particular segment.
That was
I
done
was,
in Egba now. They used to do
huh?
if you want to host party back in the Egba in the 80s.
I mean, I don't even want to
They will
cite
help
those
you with
ones
the
back
rain.
home. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the one even in England that somebody will help
Thomas,
them.
you've forgotten. Thomas, back in the days, if you want to do party, you call them.
Agatoni,
I
are you
know
from
that. I
Edo
know
State?
that. One
Agatoni,
mojo. One mojo.
Hold on. Yeah, call my
are you
name.
from Edo State?
Yes, sir. So first of all,
Agatoni, wait.
Wait,
You are
Tony.
from Edo
Wait,
State,
Tony.
right?
yes, sir.
I bow. I really bow. Where I
Although,
did now, I did bow for now. See, my brother won't
hold
go.
on. I grew up in Ibadan and
Let him
Ijebu.
finish now,
So the same
Tony. Let
culture.
him finish.
Okay. I did listen.
See,
Let him finish. Yeah.
Agatoni, I bow for now for Edo State. I do bow for now. My brother, my senior brother, was getting married at one point. It's not even in Benin, but it's outskirts of Benin. So on getting there, the weather was okay. There was no any sign of raining on that day. So there were some guys that came over there and asked that they should settle them. And my brother, him being a born again Christian, told them off. But he didn't want to tell them off in a very rude way, but he kind of like dodged them or not really pay attention. So the family of the bride kind of like nudging him to give them something, but he decided not to. To cut the long story short, so before those two guys left, they told my everybody that you guys will hear from us. And I said, so a musician was playing, and Edo music is so melodious and all that. Before you know it, it started say sign of rain. Now this is not the kind of rain that will just in this will soon stop. To the
Jesus
point
Christ
that
failed them. Jesus Christ failed them. They
that
prayed.
musician instrument, they have to turn it upside down. The water was coming down.
Nah, do you remember? Do you remember that story of Bengadebo that said the I just believe
No. Dupsy. I
Believe that.
normally agree with you, but I disagree with you with this. I don't believe in it, but I believe there is.
Exist. Yes.
Ogunwa.
Okay, because
Ogunwa.
we are mentally lazy. It's not easy to think. You people think it's easy to do critical thinking. It's very
Dupsy, I
hard.
don't believe in
We are
it.
mentally lazy. That's why we
Go
believe
to
in such
go to
things.
Ijebu, you will
That's
believe.
no, my husband is from Ijebu. Me, I'm from Ondo.
Ondo self was part. Ondo and Edo
My
are the
mother
same.
is from Ijero, where Adewale is from. My mother is from
Um,
Ijero, Ekiti.
okay.
My dad is from Owo. So me, I know all those things. I grew
All
up
are
in
the same.
Akure.
All are the same with Edo. The same culture. The same juju.
Exactly. Owo is very close to Edo. So I know
Yes,
about all
they are the
those
same.
things.
The same
But
culture.
I'm telling you guys categorically, they are all scam. I'm
Edo
They are
telling
not
you
senior
scam.
guys.
They are not scam.
everybody.
They are not scam.
Edo
You say
senior
scam is scam.
everybody.
Scam. Babala scam. I go for Oduegu in Ijero.
Dupsy.
In Ijero, Ekiti.
Dupsy. Should
My
I tell
brother.
you that you should go and drink water now? I will just command you.
Oh, you see now, Thomas, if you have the power, you will say
Ah,
that. You
Now I
said,
make all of what they are abroad now. Now I
you
make
said,
all of what they are abroad now with the
you said,
suffer.
to start coughing. That is why God will release it. There will be chaos, my brother. That's why God will
Dupsy,
not.
Oh yeah,
And
go,
he's
go and
using his
take water. Go
wisdom.
and drink a
You see
bottle of
now,
water
Adewale,
now.
don't try, sir.
I
I'm
command
Adewale, don't
you.
try, sir.
bro,
They're not
I'm
there
I
not
yet.
command
Don't
thirsty.
you.
try.
I'm not thirsty, me. I'm not thirsty. I'm okay for now. You see, that's what God will release because I'm a Shiloh. Ikaniwa. And my heart is desperately
no,
wicked.
listen to
I'm
me.
a Shiloh.
No, Dupsy.
Only
But
Chika
Baba
Galaxy
T,
Express.
Baba
Wait,
T, to be Baba
Thomas,
T, wait,
Thomas,
to
I'm
be
a
candid,
Shiloh.
if
You're
to so if truly we have these powers, why is our country like this?
let me
It's to
answer.
me. That's the big
Let me
question. They're not answering.
We are,
They're
we
not
are, we
answering
are
that
not using it.
question.
We are not using it positively. That is what
basically
due
guys,
to lack of love for
wait.
black people don't have love for each other. Look at Japanese. They have their juju.
Tony,
Korea, they are
Tony,
business.
wait. Let
Uh-huh.
Baba T finish. Yeah, yeah.
During my time in Cairo, my tour guide we went through the pyramids and we were discussing how it was truly built, and this issue came up. Those tech or those beliefs that you have, they are hidden. The reason why the heart was, if you look at the way the earth is, it is like something happened, like a war zone, if you look at it from the sky, or it be what zone, like something happened on this planet before time. It's because we've had all these powers before and it was misused. In every culture, you have stories of people misusing power and it destroyed people. It's always been there, but over time, that's why you have all these so-called cults that they have this knowledge, but they call it hidden knowledge. They hid it away from people because of what Dipsy is saying. These powers are there, but they are hidden from us because the heart of man is wicked. If we are exposed to these things, we will destroy everybody once again.
Baba T, I agree with you totally. I agree with you.
They are hidden from people because they know that if they tell you will destroy everybody.
There will be chaos. People should buy me and you like you have to be the one layer to make him eh? No, that's why the power is not released to us.
So because back in days, my cousin used to be in Ijebu, Ishoremo. Back in the days, I was very young. So they have this they have this chant called Amudo. Amudo is a ring that the
Yes, I know Amudo.
Once they wear the ring, if they touch any girl, they can have that girl. So they used to go to Baba to say, Baba, give us more. I say, I can't give you everything. If I give you
they don't agree now. All of them don't begin to agree.
So
Now
they have
colonization.
Colonization, I can't spoil our culture. Colonization.
Somebody where I done the fancy before. If you touch me with ring, I don't go follow him. I go just get in Amudo. I go to check for who's in Amudo. Me where I done the fancy before.
But my point is that those knowledge, even the fathers right now, they don't even tell us half of what they know. And the more you go down the generation, the more we lose more and more. We are constantly losing all this knowledge all the time because
it's better we lose them. It's not useful for us. We are not using it for good.
Please. Home is home.
No, we are not. Everybody, hold on. Do we have Rotimi?
Thomas,
we haven't heard from Rotimi.
Thomas, you know Amudo.
I know Amudo now. I know. Rotimi, are you there? Are
Yes,
you came for the politics, or this our topic that we changed to?
yeah. Actually, I came for the topic you guys changed to.
For the topipic. Wow,
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, let's hear from you. Without interruption, please. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I'll appreciate no interruption. I want to speak first to the Magun thing. There's something called captivus. What we term as Magun is a natural phenomenon that actually happens to dogs. It also happens to foxes, happens to humans. But it was a tactic probably used to scare women off. There are many women who have that phenomenon, but we don't know them. So be referred to as Magun. It's usually some sort of reverse climaxing. It doesn't happen to all women. It happens to only some women. And Dupa was right. There are very many married women who have had illicit affairs that nothing happens to them. So it only takes one or two or three, and then it becomes a folktale. So let's use the modern approach of WhatsApp broadcast. All it takes just one person to just make something fake and broadcast it, and then it becomes news. It becomes fact. So Magun is not real. Magun is a natural phenomenon that happens to some women. And for those of us who pay attention, when you see dogs mating, that phenomenon is exactly what happens to Magun. There's a muscle contrast that happens in some certain women when they reach a
But
level of
Rotimi,
climax.
why are you Yoruba speaking like this? I
Okay,
do believe,
so
I do think it's real. I do think it's
okay,
real.
so yes, I'm not saying that the act is real, but the stories behind them are the ones that are not sincere. So me being Yoruba doesn't mean that I must go with what bearers have said. The only difference is I took a little bit of a step to ask why. That's all.
I
Why
have a
does this thing
question for
happen?
you. Look at me. I have a
Okay, yes,
question
yeah.
for you.
All
There
right.
was a
Okay.
video one time that was circulating on online about, so I think it happens
In
in
Kenya.
Kenya. Yeah. So in that
In Kenya,
situation with
yes. It's the same
women and
phenomenon.
men now unable to separate them, what science do you think is behind that?
Okay, yeah. So when they can't separate, it
Please,
just takes a
please,
little
I'm
bit of
so
time.
sorry. Please, before you answer this question,
Okay.
let me ask a question too. Why doesn't it happen between the woman and her husband? Why does it have to happen with
Okay.
the woman and somebody else?
Okay. Okay. So my answer to you is, when it happens, how would you know? If it's your husband, there are several things that happens within the bedroom of partners that nobody says anything.
The
It's
husband was the
it's
one that actually got them separated because when he got to know about it, he was the one that asked for some things and separate
yeah.
them.
So again, so that means the husband already knows that his wife is it happens to his wife. So let me break it down like this, right? Just there's certain times
My
when
brother,
And then why
look,
not happen
I
in
don't
other
want to.
countries?
Hold on,
I
guys.
have
Hold
to
on.
take my leave. It's 4
Okay.
a.m. here in Houston.
All right. Yeah.
Go,
To
Ewale,
me,
go and touch your
Ogunlewa. So I want to rest my.
Ewale, go and
Nítorí àìjẹ́
Ó
ló
dá
fi ṣe
lọ, ó
wù
dá
ú
lọ
rí
wálé,
báyìí
ó dá
Adéwálé.
lọ, ó dá lọ.
Onítorí jẹ́ ló ṣe rí báyìí Adéwálé. Thank you.
Look,
Can I land my
it's
case?
that way because it's equity, of course, and there's a limit to the exposure, and those people, the practitioners of those uh, uh of that act, they don't usually use it to benefit themselves.
Wọ́n kì í fi ṣoríire, ó ti dà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Yeah, well, people actually not everybody now, having towing that line because the world is moving, and unfortunately, they're putting those things, regularly relegating them to the background, and the practitioners are not educated, the practitioners are not exposed, if not, but nevertheless, they exist. I
Before you
ask
go,
those
Adewale.
questions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
before you go, Adewale, I just
Yeah.
want to. Do you know the difference between what we have now and what we had then? Was that our ancestors did not know how to document this is in writing, and that's one. Number two, the thought of those things was what gave them some sort of living or earning or money. We in back in our we didn't not everybody were Ifa priest or not everybody were babalawos. We only needed one or two in a particular town, and those things gave them title and reverence. So those things, those skills that they knew, which is more like pharmacy or science or medicine today, were hidden from the populace because that's the only way you could do some sort of communal control. You don't just bring out all your history, bam. There's a reason why. And remember, some of those incantations that they make are ways of passing down those knowledge. So that's which is one of the beauties of your Yoruba language or Yoruba culture. We don't, which is like, for example, Oriki. So we didn't have books to document your ancestor, your lines, but you use Oriki to remind you of your forebearers and their names. So let's imagine like Thomas is the founder of, or look, let's say one man now is the founder of this club, and then there's Thomas, and then there's Adewale, and then there's Kulata. So you now hear Oriki that will say, one man, no something, then you now hear Thomas, Baba, Omo Thomas, Omo Kulata, Omo this. Those Orikis are ways of passing down your ancestral lineage. And it's also the same thing they used to pass down the knowledge of our herbs. Now, the difference now we can write those things down. There's no those things. The only thing, as much as Africans, we now worship them because which was the only way we could document those things. I'll give you a very popular example before you go. Smallpox. Smallpox is something that was a vaccine back then. In fact, it was a massive disease. I remember once you have it once, you won't have it again. But the people who got cured, now use it to manipulate other people. That say, oh, you know, all they have to, once they wash somebody's body with
And it's
smallpox,
called
they
Shopono.
can,
It's called
and
Shopono. And they
yeah, it's
worship it.
Shopono, yeah,
Shopono.
and they worship it. Imagine if I point on you, you also catch it too. Then you not say because you did something, but people feared the people who had it, but they already had it, they already and they already recovered, and they now started making money of it to the point where they now made into a god, and people started worshiping. Because remember, your penance is to bring in food, is to bring in goats, is to bring in this, and that's how many of those people generated their wealth. So the fact that yeah, so so the
And
thing is,
Rotimi, don't forget that they practice isolation then also for those
come again,
pandemic.
come again.
I mean, I said don't forget that they also practice isolation. Our people,
Isolation,
put sick
exactly.
people
So
close to the bones, separate them
which
from
was
the people.
exactly which was the way they feared those things. So stay in your house. So once the babalawo is coming, shop on board, everybody run. But those were pandemics that we did not know what to call them from. Some of them were airborne diseases we did not know how to do, and it wasn't just us. It was entire. In fact, it was the global world, and the Caucasians were the ones who brought it to us, and then it spread. So many things happened. The only difference was that our forebearers, which we have, or our herbalists, did, which same thing here. I mean, pharmacies don't go about telling you everything about pharmacy. I mean, for those of us who live in Western world, you can't even get certain drugs without prescription. So we understand that bit. The only difference is that they were not commercialized to the point where we have to now worship them. That's just the only difference. So right now, you don't need to worship CVS or CVS as a pharmacy or any pharmacy store. You just go there with prescription, you get your drugs. Back then, you have to go there. There was no money, so you had to use food. You had to use goats or chicken, and they took those things and then they give you those healing. It's just it's those every hunter we saw had girds. Those girds had several medicines that those hunters could use. Do we know that charcoal is a blood suppressant? So for every time they cut you, when they used to give us those tribal marks, we thought that all we thought was, oh, the charcoal was one of the magic. No, but the natural attribute of charcoal, aside making our teeth white and cool, is to enhance, to basically block blood from flowing. It heals fast. It is a natural thing from
poison
charcoal.
For poison as well.
Natural.
If you're poisoned, they use charcoal as well.
Yes.
Poison,
So, but then what they could have taught us then was, oh, if you want to use charcoal, don't use anyone from cooking. Or go and use a very clean one that will not give you infection. But they made it into something that was like magical. That's the difference. So I'm not saying they don't work. It's the story behind them that has failed us. You know, Mago itself now again. So remember someone. Or how come we don't know within us? But when it happens between husband and wife, they won't tell us.
So let me say something, Rotimi, quickly.
Me and my wife hooked last night.
Let me say something. So what you just educated us now. So what you're saying now is that if you don't seek knowledge in this world, you'll be scammed. That's just the brief of what you just said now. Because all those things this history that you just gave us now, a lot of people don't know. Do you know that Shokono shrine is still in Ibadan as we speak? People still worship on that Shokono shrine.
Some people still worship it.
As we speak right now.
Yes.
But
meanwhile, all of us already have smallpox vaccine.
Exactly.
So we can never have it again.
It's only knowledge that can help you out of that bondage. I'm saying the fact to you guys.
On that note,
so the beautiful thing is,
to you guys.
Yeah, Adewale, don't go yet though.
I have to go. I have to go. Okay. It's been really interesting.
Diwali has 4 wives now. RD, Diwali has 4 wives he has to take care of.
Say what?
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
How about you? I beg you, won't kill me. You know, honestly, I respect everybody's opinion. You know, that's what makes the topic interesting. Like I said, some people believe in stuff, some people don't. There's no, I mean, you can't fight them for believing in what they believe. So, but it's just that, you know, to me, I strongly believe that we should be open minded. Religion is one thing, but faith also. I believe in supernatural. I believe that, you know, human mind is capable of, you know, being a vessel for, you know, having a faith, regardless of what you believe. Even though as a Christian, I believe those things, you know, exist, do exist. People practice it, and sometimes
Thank you.
People call it magic, but to even explain it in a scientific way is beyond human. Is illogical. Let me put it that way. So, but then who believe in what
It's
believes?
logical, Wale.
No,
So we just have
you
to
It's
know,
very
try
my
logical.
sister was
try to
explaining
Do you know
the
that
the you see the rationale. Look, the rationale
yeah,
behind when two thieves arrive at somebody's farmland.
yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
and they arrived as soon as they got to that farmland. They pick up the palm front, and they
Yeah, I start
started
sweeping.
sweeping.
Yeah.
The broom. It wasn't
Hallucination.
broom. It was just a palm.
Hallucination.
You know the hallucination. You call that one, right?
Here's the thing. I think the part that we all are there, that's
You
unbeknownst
know,
to us,
hold on one
is
second,
that the,
Rosie.
yeah,
Hold on one.
yeah. All
You
right.
know, there was this particular thing that I saw one time, and I marvel at it.